The conference room smelled like expensive leather and betrayal. I sat there staring at the withdrawal form, my hands trembling so badly I could barely hold the paper steady. My signature was at the bottom. Perfect loops, the way I always sign my name. Except I had never seen this document before in my life. £220,000.
Gone.
The bank manager kept talking, pointing to dates, transaction codes, authorization stamps. My nephew Jordan's name appeared again and again in the notes. Jordan Hayes, certified financial advisor. The boy I'd helped raise. The young man I'd trusted with everything. When did I supposedly authorize this? I asked. She slid another paper across the table. August 14th, Mrs. Reeves. You came in with Mr. Hayes. August 14th. I was in hospital that day, recovering from pneumonia. Jordan had visited me that afternoon, brought me flowers, held my hand, and told me everything would be all right. The room tilted. Everything I thought I knew about my family was shattering like glass. But what I was about to discover would make that missing money look like nothing compared to what he'd really done. Jordan came into my life when he was 7. My sister Michelle struggled with addiction and I stepped in. I raised him, paid for everything, watched him become a certified financial advisor by 28. I was so proud. When my husband David passed 4 years ago, he left me £400,000. I let Jordan manage it all. Why wouldn't I? He was family. The boy I'd raised. Aunt Linda, he'd always say, I'm going to make sure you never worry about money. You took care of me. Now I take care of you. I believed him completely. Then September came, and something felt wrong. Jordan kept rescheduling meetings, avoiding my questions. My gut whispered that something was off. So I called the investment firm directly and asked for printed statements. The woman on the phone went quiet. Mrs. Reeves, Mr. Hayes has been collecting them on your behalf. I didn't authorize that. I demanded my own copies. When the envelope arrived, I made tea and sat at my kitchen table. The first page showed my main annuity account, the one that held £240,000. The balance read, £18,340. I stopped breathing, checked the account number 3 times. It was mine. Pages of withdrawals.
Dozens of them.
All authorized by Jordan Hayes. Transfers to accounts I'd never heard of. The paper trail went back 18 months. Systematic. Calculated. Deliberate. That's how I ended up in that bank meeting, learning that on the day I was hospitalized, I'd apparently walked in and restructured my entire financial future. Then I remembered something. Jordan had visited me in hospital that day and asked where I kept my identification documents. Said he needed them for paperwork. I told him they were in my filing cabinet, second drawer. He kissed my forehead and told me to rest. And that's when I realized the missing money wasn't the crime. It was just the beginning. I drove straight to Jordan's office, pushed past his receptionist, threw the bank statements on his desk. For one fraction of a second, his face showed raw fear. Then his usual warm smile appeared. Explain where my money went, I said. You authorized those transactions. You signed the forms. I was in hospital.
No.
You came in, we discussed your options. His gaslighting was smooth. If you're suffering from memory issues, Aunt Linda, maybe you shouldn't be managing your own affairs. I showed him my hospital wristband photo. The date stamp. I was admitted at 7 in the morning. This form was signed at 2 in the afternoon. You forged my signature. Jordan stared at the phone. Then his voice went cold. Get out of my office. I'm going to the police. No, you're not. Because if you do, I'll make sure everyone knows about the other money. The cash payments you've been taking from the library for years. I have records, Aunt Linda. You report me. I report you. It was a complete lie. But I could see his strategy. Muddy the waters. Create doubt. You'd lie about me? After everything I did for you? After you controlled me? Made sure I was grateful every single day for your charity. His laugh was bitter.
You owned me.
I was your good deed. Your proof you were better than my mother. Now, I'm taking what I'm owed. I left shaking. But I wasn't broken. I was furious. Because I'd found something else in those statements, something that connected him to other victims, including his own mother. I called Michelle that night. "The money Dad left you. Is it still in your account?" The silence stretched forever. "Jordan said it was an investment," she whispered. "I haven't been able to reach him for months." Over the next week, Michelle and I found 3 other victims. All women, all older, all people who'd trusted Jordan. He'd been systematically draining accounts using forged documents. I hired a private investigator. He discovered Jordan had bought 3 properties with cash, purchased with our stolen money. He hadn't lost it in investments. He'd built himself a real estate empire. But then the police detective told me something that destroyed me completely. "Mrs. Reeves, we need to talk about your sister's role in this." She slid a document across her desk. A business registration for Jordan's company, signed by both him and Michelle Hayes, filed 8 months before the first theft. The payments Jordan made to your sister weren't support. They were profit sharing, 20% of every theft. Michelle had helped her son rob me, had pretended to be shocked on the phone while knowing exactly where every penny had gone. When I confronted her, she finally admitted it. "He said you'd never miss it," Michelle told me. "Said you'd been hoarding money while I'd struggled with nothing." He made it sound like justice, Linda. Like balancing the scales after you'd gotten everything. "So you helped him rob me. Do you know what it was like watching you raise my son? Every time you helped, you got to feel superior. And I had to be grateful." They were arrested 3 days later. Jordan for fraud, Michelle for conspiracy. Combined, he'd stolen nearly £800,000 from 7 victims. Most was hidden in real estate properties. The court said I'd eventually recover maybe 40%. It would take years. I'm 73. I don't have years till I sold my house. Moved into a smaller flat. Work part-time now at the library I used to volunteer at. The comfortable retirement I'd planned is gone. Jordan's trial is next spring. Michelle took a plea deal. Will serve 18 months. She wrote me a letter from jail that I haven't opened. "Here's what I've learned. Love doesn't protect you from betrayal. Sometimes love is exactly what makes betrayal possible. The people who can hurt you most are the ones you let closest. I don't regret helping Jordan when he was young, but I do regret not seeing that resentment can wear the mask of gratitude for years." And if you're listening to this, maybe you could check on the people you've trusted with your future. Not because everyone's a thief, but because love without verification is just hope wearing a blindfold. And maybe, if this story meant something to you, you could share it with someone who needs to hear they're not alone in their betrayal. The money's gone. The family's broken. But I'm still here, still standing, still learning who I am when everything I thought defined me has been stripped away. The telling of it, painful as it is how I'm building mine back. Subscribe for stories where trust costs everything. Like if you'd have gone to the police. Share this warning about family and finances. Comment, verify if you're checking your statements tonight.